What's going on, guys and gals, and welcome to Good Real Hunting, where we hunt for the good reels so you don't have to. It's your boy Brad. Bretman's up here, Chris is over there, and welcome back to Good Real Hunting 2021, where we're celebrating Halloween all month long. We've had a great time thus far, so be sure to check out our playlist of those videos right over there above Brett's head. Today, we're going to be getting into another Slashed It Out episode, and we're going to be slashing it out with It Follows versus Lights Out. Now, I won, thanks to you guys and gals. I won the last Slash It Out with Chris. And so I was, yeah, buddy, man. I won the heck out of it, too. And so I get to moderate this. I picked this matchup. So I'm excited. I've never done the moderating role before, but I'm excited to get into it. So if you guys haven't seen Slash It Out before, the rules are pretty simple. We're going to do a coin toss, which will determine who gets the first pick of which movie they're going to defend. And then the winner is going to be chosen by you guys in a poll tomorrow on our social media pages. And then the winner that you guys select will go on to moderate the next matchup, and they will pick the movies that are that they're going to have in that episode. Of course, the last rule here is that the moderator must stay neutral, but they have reign to pretty much ask whatever questions they want to ask. They just can't really side with anybody. With that being said, I'm excited about today's matchup. How are you guys doing, and are you pumped to be here?
Man, I am more happier than Mika Monroe in the swimming pool.
Ooh. Yeah, that's have to follow up. I'm just happy to be here, man.
So yeah, I mean, again, if this is your first time being here for a Slash It Out, it's pretty it's simple. What we're doing is we're just taking these two movies against each other. We're about to flip a coin, and one of these guys is going to win the coin toss. Chris is going to get to call it. He will pick, and whatever he wins, he's going to defend that movie against the other one in a good old-fashioned debate. So that being said, Christopher, what are you going to have here?
It's got to be Tails. It's going to be Tails.
It is Tails. It is Tails. Tails.
Buddy! Despite the fact that it's been longer since I've seen It Follows, I'm taking It Follows.
I knew you would.
Yeah, even though I made the Teresa Palmer comment, and I do love her, I'm going to take It Follows.
Yeah, that's unfortunate, but mainly it's just unfortunate for you because I lied. I wanted Lights Out.
Are you serious?
I lied, sucker.
I ate the balls, sucker.
That better not be the case, man. Let me tell you right now, that better not be the case.
Oh, I'm ready to whoop your ass, but before I whip your ass, I believe we have a tail of the tape to look at, so let's look at that real quick.
Reveal it to me.
Alrighty. So, Brady, you want to go over this tail of the tape with us?
Yeah, I'll briefly, take a gander here. Obviously, these movies came out, about a year and a half apart, give or take. Similar scores, IMDb, just a little bit, a half a point difference. Critics liked It Follows a lot more here. Obviously, no surprise. Lights Out is your more basic, high budget. Well, not really high budget, but a higher budget horror film. Audience is pretty close. The budgets, Lights Out has a significantly higher budget at $4.9 million compared to It Follows $1 million. But the stacks came in more so for Lights Out because again, this is more mainstream. It's more people's speed, I guess, for the general audience. 63 million compared to 14 million in some change there in the box office. And of course, we got the cast done here that Brett's going to pronounce for us.
I'll do my best here. I got Teresa Palmer, I got Gabrielle Bateman, and Maria Bello.
That's for Lights Out, and for It Follows. Brett, go ahead and knock those out for us.
Mika Monroe, Kiera Gilchrist, and then Lily Sippe.
Great job, man. What do you think about these numbers, guys?
I was surprised of how much money Lights Out made on the budget that it did. It Follows. I'll be honest with you, kind of the way the movie is presented, I am not surprised by the budget or the domestic box office number, because it's one of those weird movies you really have to dig in order to get into it. It's not for everybody, but for Lights Out, I would say for the horror fans, it is for everybody, and my numbers absolutely prove that.
Yeah, I think the only thing that's surprising to me is will second that. I would not have thought that Lights Out brought in that much. I do remember that it was a lot more mainstream. It Follows was more of like it was a big hit at Sundance, the film festivals, and things like that. So that's the only thing that was kind of strange to me. And I do want to say thank you for including the It Follows poster that says one of the most striking American horror films in years. And then the one that lights out, it's just a fucking light switch. So,
Hey,
well, I feel like I get a point right off the bat.
It's when you flip that light switch, it's when shit goes down.
Yeah, of course. The budget or the stacks that came in with light follows, lights out, lights out. The money that it made, they greenlit a sequel right away. So we do have a sequel for that coming at some point.
Right away. It's 2016. I mean,
well, it was greenlit right away, but they haven't obviously made it yet. So, but it's coming.
They usually pump those out right away. But yeah, that was kind of crazy. Definitely a little bit more mainstream on that side of things. And honestly, I remember when that came out. I didn't see it in theaters. Didn't really hit my radar at all. Lights out. I wasn't something I was like, oh, I have to go see this. It really wasn't until we started talking about it around a month ago or so that I even was like, oh, I'll probably watch it.
Yeah, and both movies I've recently watched last year with Brad mentioning Lights Out. And then, actually 2 years ago is when I saw It Follows for the first time. And I'll save my thoughts at the end because I am about to tear it a new one.
Okay, Bobby, all right. Well, let's get into it. You ready?
All right, and
come on, brother moderator.
This is going to be weird to say, but Brad, you are now the moderator. It is your show. Go right ahead.
All right, LaFleur, let's stick something in a ear. All right, here we go. So I feel like for this, the most appropriate question to start things off with would be about the opening. Both of these movies have really intense openings that really put you right kind of into the action or show you what these creatures are capable of. Both It and Diana. It puts you right into that moment there at the beginning of the movie. So which one of these movies, tell me why your movie has the best opening compared to the other one. And Brett, I'll start with you on this.
All righty. Hey Chris, by the way, break a leg.
I'm all broken up here, bitch. I can't work.
Anyways, with Lights Out, here's what is why my opening is better, because it just normally starts out and already sets a dark presence already without even Diana even showing herself, so you're automatically immediately creeped the hell out, and kind of like with the lighting and everything. And then when the lady was closing out for the night and turned off that first switch and you see that Diana, oh my gosh, that was freaky as all get out. And then they did a masterful job. Keep on flipping the switch, flip it off, flip it on, off. And then at one point, Diana got closer, and that is an amazing jump scare. And it gets me every damn time, even if I know it's coming. And then she freaks out, goes after the guy. And then the guy is trying to close out shop. And then he sees Diana. And then Diana attacks him. Like, oh shit, this shadowy figure can attack me and really cause me harm. It's not good. And then he freaking tries to hide in the office all by himself, and it worked. And then freaking the lights went out, and then that's when, oh my god, we got to saw the brutality of Diana. It was damn brutal. It cuts and scratches and blood all over the damn place. It just immediately establishes the tempo of my movie to hey, get ready for a scary ride where we're going to scare the shit out of you. So that's why my opening's the best.
Okay, Christopher.
Yeah, fellas, we're talking about openings here, man. I mean, come on. It Follows starts off with one of the scariest things that you can be put into, a situation that you don't know, right? And it's one of my favorite things about this movie because we're started off from the very get-go. We don't know what the fuck is going on. There's this really intense scene, of the chick running out. We have the beach scene and all that. We don't know what the fuck's going on. This broad is fucking broken up, right? And then
she can't work, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, see what I'm saying? She's beyond disability, Dad. So, and then we see that this tender, teenage love out there, and then all of a sudden, boom, we're strapped to a chair, right? So many things where we don't know what's going on, and that's terrifying, right? That's the basis of fear is the unknown, right? And so I think that this handles it perfectly. You know, it's very understated, and it's in locations where, under the overpass and in the car, and it's so darkly lit. I think everything blends into this, and then we sort of get the rules to the game, right? The rules to the movie. The guy tries to explain, hey, this is going to happen. And then the whole time, man, and it's my favorite thing about the movie, the fucking, it's always lurking out there in the corner, just headed your way, it's like impending doom, always just right around the corner, it's like, fuck, this guy's coming to rip your throat out or fuck your butt or whatever, to death. Whatever it might be, dude, it's on its way, and that's terrifying. And this perfectly sets that thing up. So, I mean, I don't think you can do much better than that, man.
Wait a minute. It terrified you? Oh,
honestly,
man.
for like a week after I saw it, I was at the gas station, and some guy comes over, with a nasty look on his face, and I'm like, trying to get out of the pump quicker. You know what I'm saying? I go in there and I'm taking a dump in the Kroger, and I see a guy, some feet, the outline, the shadow of some feet come up and stop, and I'm like, I'm pulling the paper out twice as fast, man.
Well, that's good points. Good points. Got away from the intro there just a little bit, but I'll allow it. Anything else to say on that topic, guys, while we're at it?
Nope.
No, man, there's a clear-cut winner, and it's me. That's okay.
All right. Well, let's go. I'll let you go first on this one, Chris, my man. So both of these movies feature fantastic lead roles, female characters here in both of these movies. The first, obviously being Teresa Palmer in Lights Out, i.e. Rebecca, and then Maika Monroe as Jay Height in It Follows. So very solid performances and characters. So, yeah, I mean, tell me why your movie features the best of the two characters. And you can talk about the performance too. It's kind of a two for the performance and the actor.
Oh, okay, cool. So we can combine those both into one question. Yeah. Good deal. Yeah, man. I mean, honestly, I don't know that I had seen, and correct me if I'm wrong, because have we seen this Maika Monroe in anything else?
Oh yeah, she was in Guest.
I don't know that I've seen that.
It's from Adam Wingard. It's from the guy who did Your Next. I think it came before this, but yeah, it's a good movie.
It's where the guy goes to the dinner party and it's a real crazy. Okay, I don't remember her from that at all. I have seen it, but I don't remember her from that at all. So I thought that she really turned in a great performance in this thing, man. I mean, she pretty much nailed it. I mean, I'm sure that but I think that she's probably quite a bit older than what her character is here, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. She was.
I would think so.
Yeah, she was in her 20s when she filmed it, and I think that she nails that teenage vulnerability right out of the gate, man. And I think that's plays such a big part in this story, that teenage vulnerability, and there's of course the sexual transmission, and the teenage hormones and all that, all plays a part in here. And I think that she does a really great job of in the first act, being vulnerable and being scared, and then also transitioning in the last little bit of it there into being kind of like, fuck you, let's go for it. You know what I mean? In the pool scene there at the end. So I think that she 100% nails it. And I think the characters are all very well written. I think they're well drawn out. The character arcs here make sense. And I think that, for a band of teenagers that is going to be your focal point in a movie here. I think all the actors. I'm sorry, I really don't.
We'll get into the rest of the cast here in a minute.
Oh, okay.
After this question.
Yeah. So, but as far as the leads go, man, I think she takes the cake, because you have to balance that vulnerability and then shift over. I mean, she's constantly, pretty much in an intense state of anxiety throughout the entire movie, right? And I think the performance. Maika Monroe nails, and then as well, I think the character is written in such a way that you feel for in the beginning when, like, what the fuck is going on. She's the conduit for the audience, and I think that we go on that journey with her, and I think the character is written that way. Serves its purpose in that regard, as well as the actress knocks it out of the park. Does that make sense? That was a very long-winded way to say that, but that's what I was trying to get at there. Yeah.
Okay, Brett, man, tell us about Teresa.
All right, before I talk about Teresa, freaking Chris, Jay was just a complete bitch throughout the entire movie. She was just a whining little bitch. But anyways, I just wanted to get that little shot real quick. But let me tell you about a girl that's not been a bitch, but who's actually very supportive of and a very family person, and that is Rebecca, aka played by Teresa Palmer. Teresa Palmer, first off, Teresa Palmer is smoking. And not only is she smoking, she can act too. Like, she is a very talented actress. And
have you seen I Am Number 4?
Fear? No, it's Fear, Chris. It's Fear.
I'm number 4.
No, I have not seen this movie. Why would I want to see that movie when I got a perfectly good Teresa Palmer movie in Lights Out? And she knocks the role out of Rebecca amazing. Being kind of like the rebel, kind of like being like on her own and trying to separate herself from people. Even her boyfriend Brett, which that's another nod towards why I love this movie, because they actually had a character named Brett in it, and who's awesome. But I'll talk about him later. But again, she's kind of like a loner. She doesn't want like responsibilities and all that. But as we're talking about character arcs throughout this movie, as it goes on and on and on, her character arc goes from this solo rebel to this caring sister and a caring girlfriend as well. And trying to help people with their problems versus just, ignoring problems. If it just her just being all by herself. Just Rebecca's just such a strong female lead, and you really feel sympathetic towards her as she's just trying her best, trying to figure out what the hell's going on and how I can solve this problem so that my little kid brother and my sicko mom can all be okay. Which one of the two, unfortunately, didn't go so well. But she took care of her main priority, and she really stepped up towards the end of the movie. And great job, Teresa Palmer, for selling that role.
Okay. Anything else to add there?
Yeah, she pretty much hated her fucking family throughout, dude. I mean, it was out of necessity that she, was like, oh, my little brother, blah, blah.
That is false. She loves her. She never hated her little brother. She only hated her mother. But at the end, she did love her mother.
Okay.
False.
Okay. Anything else?
No, Daddy, I think that's it on my end.
Okay, good points. Good points all around. So now you guys both mentioned it already. We'll move into the rest of the cast. Both of these movies feature, a pretty solid supporting cast. A lot of younger people and things like that. Notably, Paul, i.e., Keir Gilchrist, and Brett, as you said there, Bertman, Alexander Dispersia. Yeah, that sounds good. So, you don't have to only talk about these two people, but they kind of stood out as being, the kind of boyfriend kind of character. But there's you get the brothers too, the mothers, and all kinds of other characters in these movies. So, tell me why your movie has the best supporting cast, Brett. You go first on this one.
Man, without my supporting cast, this story couldn't be told as properly as it could, because again, you need to have those supporting cast members need to have the same chemistry and dynamic, like with their characters as with Rebecca. And my supporting cast absolutely did, because we got Brett, which hell yeah, very likable, and he just is very supportive of Rebecca, but at the same time, like, he knows that she has some problems, but instead of him being a douche and like just being a complete like prick about it, he was very supportive, and it actually changes Rebecca's character arc as the longer this movie goes, and that is very great for supporting character to do that. And then we got Martin, the little kid, who sold his role of being scared great. He did a great job with selling fear, and also for us as the audience to feel sympathy towards him, and for wanting us to care about the kid and for him to be okay. And then we got Sophie, which is the mother. She had to sell of like why we shouldn't like the mother, as kind of like Rebecca doesn't like the mother. And at the beginning of the movie, very job well done of us selling of not liking her, but it does a complete 180 as the plot it develops for us to actually feel bad for Sophie as well. And I love when we go from hating a character to liking a character, and that's what Sophie brought to us. So my supporting cast did a really great job with their roles and to help the Rebecca character to defeat Diana, that bitch.
That bitch.
Bitch.
Sorry. I said bitch.
Oh.
You said that? You said bitch?
Good point, Brett Man. I like it. I like where your head's at. Christopher.
Yeah, Bubby. You know, I enjoyed the character of Paul in this one. You know, it would have been so easy for you to just feel like, hey, there's this teenage kid, you know, it's like, you know, this chick's over here freaking out saying she's seeing someone, and you know, this guy could have just been like, oh yeah, I'll see him too, you know, he's just trying to get some pussy, you know what I'm saying? But I think that they did a really good job of making him vulnerable as well, making him a very likable character and somebody that can kind of be there for her and for Jay Hyde. Mm-hmm. But you know, I love the character of Paul. The whole supporting cast here is really great, especially whenever, you know, we get to the end and you know, or I guess throughout, whenever we discover, you know, that Jay's not just going crazy the whole time and everyone is there to support her. You know, how no matter how crazy the journey seems like it's going to take, everybody, it's very believable that they all follow her. You know what I'm saying? I think all that, and then at the end of the day, Paul does get some pussy. You know what I'm saying? So it's hard not to root for him there at the end, you know. And it's like, hey, man, you know, mission accomplished. And he helps defeat the whatever the entity, whatever you want to call it. He helps defeat that, and then smashes. You know, even though maybe it didn't work, whatever. You know, he still was in there. So I like him. I don't know if that's enough for you guys or not, but that certainly was enough for me to root for him. You know,
man, I love this Paul kid. Was a little bitch too, and let me tell you why he was a little bitch. And as you said,
he could have easily been depicted as like, oh, I'm going to be this rough and tough jock guy, like, oh, I'm here to protect you. You know what I mean? And instead,
like the other male character.
Yeah, and I forget what his fucking name is, but yes, I know who you're talking about, and it's not that way, and I think that it's so perfect that they go on this journey together and sort of, you know, find each other by the end of it when they're like, oh, hey, you know, here we are, we're, you know, two vulnerable characters, and you know, now let's do the old one too. But I mean, it's about more than that. I know I keep circling back around to that as a joke, but really, for the characters, it's much more than that. So for them to go on this journey together and sort of bond together over that, I think it feels right throughout the story. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I guess so, but last time I checked, Paul didn't get any of the of what you just said, the pose, but he didn't get any of that because freaking Jay was doing all the damn work, and Paul, like a little bitch, just sat there and took it. So, you know, there's a big difference between that. I take away Paul's man card on that one.
They banged?
Yeah, they did bang.
She banged. He just sat there.
That's even better.
Yeah, no, man, come on, dude. What are you talking about? That's a double win. Come on.
Pretty much the point is Paul's a little bitch in that movie too.
Whatever. This coming from a guy that said Brett in Lights Out was a great character.
Because he was a good character. Because he could have been the prick and just left
abandoned the whole family to go get. You know, he just abandoned the whole family. Of course, he
get help.
He came back with cops, man. But come on,
I would have done that. Like, I think that's a very reasonable thing to do because you couldn't get to the phone because Diana wouldn't let you do it. So he did. He tried to do his best and get police to try to take care of it because even he was still trying to figure out what was going on.
What happens if you come back with the police and everyone in the house is dead? Then you're going to be like, oh.
Well, we have
my name's Brett and I left and everybody's dead now. It's all my fault. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I wasn't concerned with that because Rebecca kind of handled herself really damn well because she's a smart character.
She did.
If it was anyone other than Teresa Palmer,
if it were Jay,
would
would
love
her
to.
ass would be dead in that scenario.
I don't think so, dude.
Mm-hmm. Easily. And plus, Paul put Jay in danger. His plan just went batshit wrong. And you're telling me that Paul is an expert gun shooter too?
I didn't fucking say that. That's words that you're putting in somebody else's mouth, Chief. I've never once said he was an expert marksman.
Well,
I
that's
just
what
said
the
that
movie portrayed him as. Like, oh, he just knows how to use a gun. I'm like, that is bullshit.
he knew how to use a gun more than Jay did, so he was trying to say, "Hey, maybe we could cap this bitch in the face," you know. And fair enough, you know, it was worth a shot. And things did go a little sideways. Oh man, you know what?
Things
It was worth a shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did a little bit, but whatever. Not really. They didn't go sideways until Jay was on that D.
All right. So next question. You guys done with that one?
Yes.
Yeah.
So this is more so a transition question here, but I thought it'd be fun to ask. Would you rather go have popcorn with Sophie, watch your favorite movie at her house, just hanging out? You can pick whatever movie, pick whatever brand popcorn. You can pick the Kroger brand, the Orville Rickenbach, whatever, and just hang out with her for the night watching that movie at her house. Or do you get it on with Jay and take your chance with the It?
Man, actually, it's Chris's turn. Sorry.
Is it my go? Bring it on, Jay. I'll take that fucking thing on. It can follow me through, from here until I'm 75, buddy. There's you know what? I'll take my chances.
Well, mine's simple because I don't know
Easy
where
answer.
the hell. Like Jay could have some sexual transmitted diseases that I want absolutely no part of. So I'm going to take my chances and watch a movie with Sophie because hell, I bet you I already know what movie she's picking. She's picking Kingpin, for crying out loud. So of course, give me a big old bowl of popcorn and we just go watch Kingpin.
Absolutely not. Why would she pick Kingpin?
Because her favorite actress is Lin Shin.
Lin Shaye.
Lin Shaye, my bad. And plus, as of this recording, it is her birthday today. So happy birthday, Lin Shaye.
Oh,
hell yeah. So like I said, that was more of a transition. Now, a more serious question here is, tell me why your flick has the scarier creature, whether it be Diana or It. Tell me why your creature would be the one you would be the most scared of and why you would not want to be in that predicament.
Oh, easy, dude. Like, because most people, and there is actual like serious cases out there where people are legit afraid of the dark. Like, and it's terrifying. And just to like really dive into that fear to creating a character like Diana makes the whole situation even more terrifying. And like, and I hate like walking around the house in my house in the dark too. I always gotta have a light on, just like almost every part of the room. Even though I know it wastes electricity and the electricity bill go higher, but I'd rather be to feel safe and protective than just to be in pure darkness like that. Because I do have a little bit of that fear. Especially, I wake up a lot in the middle of the night just because I think I hear noises and not to see what's going on because of the darkness. Just makes that fear way worse. And to include Diana in it, dude, that makes the whole situation even worse because Diana can get your ass too. So easily, my scenario is way more scarier.
Yeah, you know who's mostly afraid of the dark? Children.
What are you saying?
Children. It's not about you. I'm just talking about the movie itself. I really think that's playing on a childhood fear. You know what I'm saying?
Well, Rebecca was easily scared of the dark in that movie. I'll tell you that for damn sure. And so was Sophie.
Sophie hung out in the dark, to be fair.
Yeah, I was about to say, yeah. Sophie
she didn't. But if you asked her, she didn't want to be in it.
Yeah, dude. You know what? At one point, it would have been funny if they would have cut to her walking back in a room, and instead of Diana, it was Bane. Because Bane was, I was born in the dark. And so he was
darkness is your ally.
Yeah. But I'll tell you what, and It Follows. The entity in this thing is fantastic, and I'll tell you why. Because it is everywhere. It's coming for you all the time. And you never know who the fuck it's going to be. It's a shapeshifter thing. What about the guy with the big head? You know, I'm talking about the guy with the giant head, and he walks in.
The
That
giant
shit,
in general,
yeah,
the
man.
7'7" guy. Yeah. R.I.P.
Yeah, he that was just creepy as shit, man. And you never know. It's a shapeshifter. It's always coming to get you. And then connected on top of that, do you know what makes it come after you? Fucking. That, how terrifying is that, man? It's like, oh, I mean, I'd like to have some, but I don't know. I don't. Who's that? Outside the window, walking at such a speed, it's making me uncomfortable out there. And so the fact that it's tied in, there's that metaphorical sense of STDs and such, and it's based through, it's transmitted through banging. That's fucking scary, dude. What could be scarier than that? I may get this thing that could change into anything chasing me just because I, got a little on the side here or whatever. It's terrifying, man. So it's hard, I think Diana, at least like, oh shit, I'm gonna run out into the daylight, and there's some comfort there, right? She's confined to the darkness. Oh shit, if I turn my light around here, she's gonna go away. This guy, he's coming no matter what, buddy, because you got the puss, he's coming to get you now. You know what I'm saying? Or vice versa, you know what I'm saying? You stood up, you took a seat on the stick, he's coming to get you. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's terrifying, dude. It's top notch stuff. Really, really playing on people's deepest fears right there. You know what I'm talking about? Being chased, and what's going to come out of me putting something in here. You see what I'm saying?
On top of that, and this is kind of the same question, so you can kind of, if you have a rebuttal, Brett, you can add this into this. I just didn't want it to get too redundant. So if you don't feel like you don't have to really talk about the creatures anymore, but again, if you want to rebut, you can rebut. But which film itself is scarier? Creature included, film techniques included. Which movie is a scarier movie?
Kind of like just like without repeating myself. Again, it's got to be my movie because of that aspect in the dark. Because like my opponent said, yes, it is a child kind of like big fear, but it can also apply to adults too. Because there is I bet there's like we got all these fears, kind of like arachnophobia and stuff like that. There's one for the dark too. Yeah, and Chris, you can't deny that. Facts are facts, buddy.
Yeah, baby, you're right.
But and just like, and you just and for this particular movie, like just what James Wan, he's the producer of this movie. He was not the director. That director was get his name real quick. David Sandberg. Yes, and but it still feels like a James Wan flick, kind of in a way. And like you see a lot of his techniques, like moving the camera and just toning atmosphere. Really, and just to amplify that with a big time fear already in the dark, my movie is definitely scarier than It Follows.
One of the things that I will say, and I will give a little bit of credit where it's due here, I do think that Lights Out is scary for what it's worth, but I've never liked horror movies that rely too much on jump scares. That's been something I would prefer, that the atmosphere, the story itself, just the nature of the story to scare me. That to be the terrifying part, not for it to rely so much on the score and the jump scares, which are, go hand in hand. And that's the only thing, they're one of the big things I didn't like about Lights Out, and I think that It Follows does very well. It has this really understated sense about it, of course, because the budget was only $1 million, but it has this very 80s vibe to it, with the score and everything, and I think that lends itself. And like I said, it's not about the visuals jumping out and scaring you so much as it is the psychological part of it, where this thing's just following the characters around. That kind of feeds into your own fear about, we talked about with sex and this thing following you around and all that, and shape shifting and everything. It doesn't need those jump scares. It doesn't need all of that to take advantage of the terrifying nature of the story itself, which is this thing following these characters around. And so I think that it's this is scarier on that fact alone. It doesn't rely on jump scares, and it's terrifying in its nature. Does that make sense?
Man, do you know what scared me more about your movie, Chris? Trying to figure out what the hell the time area of your movie is, because like you talk about it being in the 80s. Was it really in the 80s? Because that one person had like a seashell cellular phone thing, like because that's definitely not 80s technology.
It could have been the 90s. I don't know. I just said it had an 80s vibe to it. That very
Hell, it wouldn't even be 90s. I would say that'd be like mid 2000s.
I'm going to throw in just kind of a fact check thing here. The movie, it doesn't have a time period. It's not set in any time. It throws in a lot of different things. So you're questioning what time period. It's a conscious decision by the creators to make you question what time period this is in. You can tell what the way the different cars are in there, both modern and old, and the technology and things like that. That was a conscious decision on the filmmakers' part to do that. So it doesn't really have. It's not. It's just it adds to the dreamlike sense of that movie. So that's just
okay. Just a little side note there. Yeah. So in that regard, I think that kind of adds to the fact that this could be any time period at any time. It's terrifying nonetheless. So yeah, man. I don't have anything else to add.
Bretman, you got anything else you would like to add?
I've just telling you, man. Does dark over sex is scarier. Sex is enjoyable, but darkness.
How about sex in the dark, Bubby?
Let's get into this.
Now
one.
You're in for it.
Oh gosh, yeah, you're fucked, literally. Anyway, all right, let's get into this next one because it kind of came up a couple times. So both of these movies have other, obviously it's got both of these movies kind of have a message with the story they're telling and whatnot. Lights Out deals kind of with depression. It Falls deals kind of with sex and STDs and stuff. So tell me why your movie does a better job of doing that with the story that it provides. Chris, you can start with this one.
Yeah, because he said do it, but anyway, sorry. Cut that out.
Got me in there. No, man, I think that this is a perfect sort of metaphorical. I don't know if it doesn't lean too heavy into that. I mean, it's there, definitely. It's there dealing with STDs and we're talking about the teenage vulnerability and all of that stuff. But I mean, I think that it's a good representation without being over the top. The message in there, even though that's very clearly a part of it, never feels heavy-handed. And so it's kind of a blend of telling or being a cautionary tale, if you will, and still being like an original being a horror film, still providing that sense where you can let go of the metaphorical side of it and just enjoy just the scary story side of it, if you will. You know what I mean? And I think that's a good balance. And any time that you're going to have a sort of allegorical or metaphorical side to the story that you're telling, you have to have that balance. Otherwise, if it's all about the sex, then it's too heavy-handed and people aren't going to really dig it. It's not going to be scary. It's just like, oh yeah, we all fucking get it. Fucking teens are banging and it's bad. And it's, I mean, I know that's not exactly what the storyline is here, but just for instance. And so I think there's a balance to be had there about like, oh yeah, it's a scary movie, but also it has this sort of subdued version of it. Does that make any sense? Did I answer the question?
Yeah, that's good. Bretman?
Oh, okay. But yeah, we mentioned my movie does tackle a good amount of the depression aspect into this movie with the mother of Sophie going through depression and also going through kind of like a mental hospital too. They did kind of mention that in there, kind of like how the whole relationship between Sophie and Diana started. And so we got to tackle a little bit about the hospital setting of where, but they didn't focus too much on it. They just kind of mentioned it, but it's mainly just the depression of Sophie because she not only lost her husband, she lost her new husband that was introduced at the beginning of the movie. Her freaking daughter just despises her and just does want nothing to do with her. And then even her own son is scared of the environment that she's portraying into the house. So like it really just messes with you, and it's Sophie is a really relatable character for other people kind of facing the same depressions, like family matters, because that's what it really tackles here is the family matter aspect of depression. And then it just breaks my heart too when friggin' Martin goes, "Mommy, are you taking your medicine and all that?" And that's a gut wrencher too. Even when your littlest kid is worried about your mental well-being, when he's not even old enough to understand that, but he has to grow up a little bit quicker to understand it. So just the depression aspect, it's a sad topic, but it's a real issue, and it just really just throws it at you like, hey, it's there, it's real, and it's a scary thing, man.
Yeah. Just to add on to both of your answers there. I'm not really going to put my hat in there or anything like that, but yeah, I mean, and Diana herself could be a symbol of depression, right? This thing that looms over you throughout your whole life and causes your family to kind of fall apart and things like that, and obviously the ending, where she kills herself. And then on the other end of the STD thing, you could also look at the representation of sex in the movie to be almost making sex a good thing, because that's your escape from death in that sense. It's a different way to spin the movie, but that's a way to get out of it, because not only do you get it with having sex, but you also get away from it by doing that too. So just a little food for thought for both of those things. I think I'll shut up now because this isn't my thing. But anything else on those?
No, I pretty much said what I wanted to say on that particular question.
All right, Chris, anything there for you?
Yes. No, I'm good.
Okay. So almost done. Got a couple more questions here. But David Sandberg did Lights Out, and David Mitchell did It Follows. Both of these directors were very young in their careers when they did these movies. David Mitchell, I think this is his second feature-length film. He'll later go on to have Under the Sea or some weird movie, indie movie. I haven't seen it, but it's got I think it's got Matt Bomer in there. Anyway, that's beside the point. Yeah, so
Under the Silver Lake, perhaps.
Yes, that one.
Yeah, it's not
he
good.
went on to do that. David Sandberg went on. He did Annabelle Creations, and he's doing all kinds of stuff. He's doing a sequel to this movie. So just tell me why your movie of these. This was David Sandberg's actually first feature-length film. After he did a short for this on YouTube, actually, he got the funding to make the actual movie. But either way, tell me why your movie made the best statement for these directors in their young careers. Brett, it's your turn.
Yeah. Yes. For David, this Lights Out really elevated his career in a major way. Just because, like, if you can make his short movie, which was about let me check here, 3 minutes. And he was so effective with those 3 minutes. And so I don't blame any producer and all that. And that 3-minute clip of Lights Out was really damn popular within the horror community of getting scared. If you could get scared in 3 minutes, imagine what you can do with a full feature length film. And that's what the executives in the movie business hey, let's trust this guy. And then not only trust him, let's put him with James Wan. And so he had a major advantage with his first feature-length film, having James Wan on your side, kind of helping him show the ropes and on that. And it just really did very good things into his career, because he made a very good movie in Lights Out that led on to Annabelle Creations. And Annabelle Creations is one of the most popular movies in the entire Conjuring universe. That's not The Conjuring. Probably the most popular if you probably ask the majority of horror fans. And not only did that also helped him elevate his career, because it also landed him with the role of Shazam, directing Shazam and going to be directing the brand new sequel to Shazam. So and it all started with Lights Out. So I think it really helped my director really elevate his game, so that other big time movie production studios really put their trust within David.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and a fun fact about that, even though it's not really For me, whenever he actually had directed the thing before the shorts, whenever he came over and was actually hired, James Wan was, would vouch for him, and he came over to direct Lights Out. He had never been on a professional film set before, hadn't done any of that. So I thought that was a kind of a cool little fact there.
Mm-hmm.
And definitely having all those things on your side definitely is going to help his career a lot, and has helped his career a lot. For David Robert Mitchell, or did I get that backwards? Robert David Mitchell, I can't remember. It's one of
It's
the
David.
other.
Yeah, it's David.
Yeah.
David Robert Mitchell.
He didn't really get the extreme funding and the backing that Lights Out did, like we talked about in the beginning. Lights Out, much more of a mainstream film. But what he was able to accomplish with a much smaller budget was to create a really intense atmosphere, and for reasons obviously that I've already stated, and I'm sure you guys will agree, is the superior film of these two, right? And he was able to take that $1 million and really turn it into something that was truly terrifying without being too heavy on jump scares, and make something really scary out of a very small budget, and in doing so was able to really crack into the festival circuit. I think this got a lot of attention at Sundance and Venice. I'm not sure if it did this premiere at the Cannes Film Festival. I'm really not sure. Cannes,
Yeah,
Cannes,
it did. It made a lot of rounds into certain festivals and all that.
Yeah. So the festival circuit. So even though this wasn't mainstream, like, the teens are flocking to the theater to see it, it made a lot of noise in the festival circuit. And I think that really got a lot of attention in terms of maybe not, this guy is commercially viable, but this guy is definitely somebody that you want to keep an eye on critically, because he's doing really great work. If he's able to create this out of such a small budget, what else can this guy do? And so I really don't know. And Brad, you can probably tell me, has he gone on to direct anything else that's this sort of and this is sort of the same type of route that we're seeing with guys like Robert Eggers, right?
Right.
does the Witch for really low budget, and then goes on to do the Lighthouse.
Yeah, I'm going to look it up for you.
Damn you, Winslow.
Let Neptune strike you down. And so, oh yeah, of course, you already spoke about Under the Silver Lake. I do remember that. That movie was shite, but outside of that.
So as a director now, fuck.
And Under the Silver Lake, I believe, was based on a novel. I could be wrong about that. No, it was written and directed by David Robert. But it did compete for the Palme d'Or, which is like the highest honor at the Cannes Film Festival. But
so yeah, that's the last thing he's done, was that in 28. He hasn't done a lot. After It Follows, he did Under the Silver Lake, and that was it.
Well, forgive me, then. This guy fucking sucks. And
but hey, he's.
No, I mean, this was a very impressive outing for such a young director with such a low budget to create something this atmospheric and this haunting, and something that sticks with you for a while, And that's my favorite thing about the movie, regardless of who wins. I like this one because it sticks with you. You think about it. And for such a low budget and such a young director, I think that resonated with a lot of people, even if he didn't. We're talking about careers here and statement films. I think this one made a big statement. Obviously, just not as big of a statement as David fucking Sandberg.
All right, you guys have anything else you want to add to on that one?
Nah, man. That might just speaks for itself, really. And I'll give Chris, your director, props, because he had to deal with $1 million budget, and dealing with $1 million budget's not the easiest thing in the world. So I will give your director a lot of credit for making a great movie with $1 million budget. It's just that my guy just had more of what we call support on his back, and he not only succeeded with that support, but he also learned to stand alone and make some really good films, especially like in Shazam, because that I think it's really underrated for a superhero movie, and for him to do that on his own, getting away from the horror genre, is super damn impressive.
Hell yeah, man.
I haven't even seen it, but I'm very confident that was mostly DC, and they just let him put his name on it. But that's okay. I don't disagree with anything that you said. I think that he benefited from all that stuff, and my guy obviously is just shit the bed.
Okay. Well, next question. This is actually we'll make this the last question, and it's one that one of our followers by the name of Clark pointed out and suggested for me, and I think it's a fitting way to end, especially how we've begun here. But so both of these movies had pretty good endings. It Follows, has the more ambiguous, where they're walking down the sidewalk and there's a silhouette in the background following them, ambiguous. You don't know how it ends. Whereas Lights Out has more of a definite ending. Closed book, shut. You never know what's going to happen, but you do now because she's dead, kind of situation. So tell me why your movie had the best ending of the two. Brett, it's your turn. Or
Yeah, I believe it's me. And so before I answer that question, which ending? The original ending or the alternate ending?
The original.
The theatrical ending.
Theatrical, yeah.
Okay, the theatrical one, because I just want to quickly point out that there is an alternate ending to my movie if you get like the Blu-ray, and I'm sure you can find it on YouTube as well. And I just want to let y'all know I'm glad they did not go with that ending, because that would have been really hard to defend. But but with the original ending, I think mine is superior just for the fact that how the hell, like, I know you're supposed to be Diana by shining light on her, but to me that's a little like, what, I wouldn't say it's lazy, but it's like not very excitable or tense because you kind of know how to defeat her. But they did a complete 180 on this, and with Sophie, because again, Sophie was the one allowing Diana to have her power, and the only way to take away Diana's power is for Sophie, in her mind, to be out of the picture, and that's why, unfortunately, she decided to kill herself. But I know she didn't really want to, but to protect her children, it's just a big time mother's act right there, and to protecting her children. So that's why she did what she did to destroy Diana. So there's absolutely no way that she can come back and to terrorize her family. So it's just, not only was mine just like a very tense moment, but it's a sad moment as well. So I would easily say my ending was better.
Christopher?
You're wrong. No, I'm kidding, man. Good points. Good points all around. One of my favorite things about mine, the ending to It Follows. In keeping in line, we talked about earlier how this kind of felt like an 80s, 90s vibe. I love that there's not a sequel to this. I love the ambiguous ending. And we don't need any more of this. You know what I'm saying? This was perfect. We don't need to expand this balloon and keep this story going. I love that we get that ambiguity there at the end of this one, and I think it's in line not only with the horror part of it, but the kind of metaphorical part of it that we talked about before. I think that this. The ending for this goes in line with both, and almost kind of like in the spirit of Inception. When we come back at the end and Dom, does a little spinny thing at the end, and the camera's focused on the top, but your main character is focused on getting to his children, and it's almost kind of the same thing here, where we're concerned about, is the lurking shadow in the background coming to get them, but the characters are holding hands and they're sort of content, in their own world. And I think that's the important image to remember at the end of this. Like, yeah, we have the ambiguity there, but these characters are happy, and I think it's the perfect way to end it, and on both accounts. So whatever.
Okay. Brett, you got anything else to add, my friend?
No, I believe that's it, my friend.
Okay, I think that I don't have any more questions, so I guess that's probably it, man.
All right. So are we out of debate mode?
Chris, you good with that? You ready to come on out?
Yeah, baby, I'm done with it, man. I'm out.
Okay, we're out.
Alrighty. Damn, that was tough because I fucking love It Follows. Because
Yeah.
and it was sad to talk about Paul dirty like that because I really actually relate to the Paul character a lot, and I was really tied into what he was doing because I kind of feel like I would do the same things.
You know, I fucked up. I think that you're gonna. I feel like that you probably should win. I like It Follows more, but the second that I took it, I realized, hey, I like this more, but I haven't seen it in over a year, so I don't know what the fuck is, So half of that I just bullshitted my way through, and I'm also learning as time goes on. I'm not very good at this.
Well, I'm just glad.
I think I ramble on and try and make points that aren't there, and I'm like, something come to me, and it never does. So,
But
whatever.
I'm actually glad for Brad that he didn't talk about the score for both
Oh,
movies.
of course I
because
wouldn't.
It Follows dominated the shit out of that score. It's
Yeah.
one of my
Oh, yeah.
actual favorite scores, not only
I
of
love it a
horror,
lot.
but of all time, because it really completely caught me off guard, and it's just so damn good.
Yeah, that was definitely a conscious decision on my part not to bring that up because it's not even fair.
Thanks, buddy.
No, I think I liked Lights Out for a lot of reasons, and I thought that it capitalized a lot on the childhood fear of the dark. You know what I mean? Like it was like I remember being a kid, and you're flipping the light on, you're like, oh shit, And I thought that it really did a good job of sort of bringing that back to life, and I'm like, oh shit. And I think I fucked up because I should have watched It Follows as well.
Hey, I'll be honest with you, man. You did a really good job for the predicament that you were in. Like you were really took a ballsy approach to defend a movie like It Follows. So, and I thought you did a really good job argumenting. I just think I did a tad bit better.
You
Ooh.
probably definitely did. You can
The
cut
people
out.
will determine.
Yeah, I say it's not up to us; it's up to the viewer. So, again, guys, in that
baby.
comic section, be sure to express your opinion on not what the better movie is, but just who made the best argument.
Damn it.
Of the movie. Yeah.
I'm gonna be stuck here forever. I'm gonna be here on my 200th round, just like dying. I'll be all gray, and I'll be like,
yeah, and of course,
my name's Jeff.
And of course, Brad said the next day, it'll be sure to pay close attention to our Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, as we'll have polls out. And then the day after that, those polls, we will reveal the winner of who won this particular Slash It Out.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, that'll be sure to vote on those. The polls are the official counter for this sport. And man, I gotta tell you,
guaranteed hand job. Vote for me. Guaranteed hand job.
I like both.
Don't stop influencing people.
Yeah, the reason I selected this matchup here is just because I thought, I really wanted to do It Follows. I really wanted to do a matchup with that, and I just thought Lights Out. They both kind of have these, creatures that follow you throughout life, whatever you're doing kind of deal. They both have the really strong female lead, and they both have, fun characters all around. I guess, maybe fun's not the word, but, young core group of characters. I tell you one thing that, I really like about Lights Out, or I'm sorry, It Follows, that didn't really come up, is just the callbacks to some of the classic horror movies. I know the David, David Roberts.
Robert
yeah.
Mitchell. David Robert Mitchell.
David Robert Mitchell. He quoted, there's a quote with him saying that he really was influenced by John Carpenter and Wes Craven and a lot of the, the classics. And it shows. This movie is very similar to Halloween in a sense of that everlasting evil that's out there, that's going to be there no matter what you do. It's going to be, coming in closer and closer and closer, at all, there's nothing you can do about it. It's just going to be there kind of deal. And it's got similar shots when Jay's in the classroom, she's looking out the window, she sees the the it kind of walking up towards the window,
Yeah, dude.
and you get a score that's very reminiscent of John Carpenter too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they used a lot of the same camera lenses as well whenever they were shooting this, with the wide shots and things like that. I don't think they shot it on 65 millimeter, but a lot of the same wide shots and stuff that he said was very much inspired by John Carpenter and some of those older guys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's a great point, Brad, of like bringing up John Carpenter related things to It Follows, because I can see that, especially with the score.
The name Jay actually is a callback to Jamie Lee Curtis too.
Oh, okay.
Well, it was a conscious decision to.
Okay, and then
Rocky Road, baby.
I love this actual slash it out. I thought it was a really good matchup.
Yeah, these are very similar. This is a very good matchup compared to the last one that we fucking had. Malignant? What did I don't even know what I even fucking.
We have Malignant.
Oh,
Insidious.
Yeah, because we planned that beforehand, thinking they were going to be very similar, and they were not.
No.
Yeah, because Insidious is a masterpiece and fucking Malignant's a piece of shit. But I digress.
That's it.
Yeah. Alrighty, so shall I go ahead and close this on out of here?
Go ahead,
Yeah,
Daddy.
All right, let's close out here. So, guys, who do you think defended their movie the best? Are you going to pick with yours truly with Lights Out and we knock out the light of It Follows? Or do y'all think It Follows was Chris did the better, superior job of defending that movie? Let us know in that comment section down below, because, again, that is extremely important to determine who the winner is going to be. And whatever I usually say with this.
Yes, it's very important. If you want to help us fund the Good Reels, you can do so by funding us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Of course, that's where the polls are going to be. Letterboxd, Snapchat, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and TikTok. Those links are going to be down below for you to find. Right down there.
Abso-freaking-lutely. And be sure to like this video, share, and subscribe. And, of course, ring that bell. Ding, ding, ding. So you know when the next video is up and ready. And we are so close to 500 subscribers. And it would mean the world to us if we can get to 500 subscribers before the month of October ends.
Right, you are. Turn your lights off and stay.
Vote for me, get a hand job. Sorry.
Oh, shit. Diana, no. Nah, I'm just kidding with you. We'll see you guys later.
All right.
Man, speaking of hand jobs, can you imagine what that would have been like, buddy, if you were just sitting there in the dark to see them claws come down?
Hey, it's better than doing the full thing and getting the freaking hit creature falling